The transport ship Meridian shook as it docked with the massive space station. Jake Morrison grabbed his single bag and walked toward the exit. Through the window, he could see the Galactic Combat Academy stretching out like a small city in space. Metal corridors twisted around training domes and weapon ranges. Ships from 12 different worlds sat in the docking bays. Jake had seen the recruitment videos back on Earth. They showed brave cadets learning to fight aliens who wanted to destroy human colonies. They showed graduates getting important jobs, protecting planets and space stations. What they did not show was how humans always came in last place. The academy doors opened with a loud hiss. Jake stepped into a hallway filled with alien cadets. A group of tall, gray creatures with 4 arms walked past him. Their skin looked like metal and their eyes glowed red. Behind them came smaller beings that looked like they were made of blue crystal. They made musical sounds when they talked to each other. Jake had studied all the alien species on his trip here. The Zentari were the gray ones with 4 arms. They had won the Academy rankings for the past 5 years. The crystal beings were called Aquarians. They could breathe underwater and in space. Every species had something that made them special fighters. Humans had nothing special. They were not the strongest or the fastest. They could not breathe in space or see in the dark. They could not read minds or grow metal skin. They were just ordinary. A young human woman in a torn uniform ran up to him. Her name tag said Rodriguez. Her face was dirty and she had a black eye. "Are you the new coordinator?" she asked. "Jake Morrison, and you look like you had a bad day." Lisa Rodriguez laughed, but it sounded angry. "Bad day? We just lost to the plant people." "The plant people? They do not even have muscles. They beat us using vines and flowers." More human cadets gathered around Jake. He counted 12 of them. Their uniforms were dirty and ripped. Some had bandages on their arms and faces. They all looked tired and angry. A tall cadet with short black hair stepped forward. "I am Alex Carter, senior cadet for the human team." He did not look happy to meet Jake. "I guess you are here to tell us we can do better if we just try harder." "No," Jake said. "I am here to tell you that you are doing everything wrong." The cadets stared at him. Alex Carter's face turned red. "Wrong? We follow all the training rules. We study the tactics books. We practice every day. And you lose every day," Jake said. "When was your last win?" Nobody answered. They looked at their feet. A loud voice boomed through the hallway. "Make way for Commandant Vextar." The alien cadets quickly moved to the sides of the hallway. A huge creature walked toward them. It had 4 arms like the Zentari but was twice as big. Its skin was dark green and covered in scars. This was a Croylian, one of the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Commandant Vexatar stopped in front of the human group. His 4 eyes looked down at Jake. "You must be the new human coordinator. I am surprised Earth bothered to send another one. The last 3 quit after 1 month." "I do not quit," Jake said. The commandant laughed. It sounded like rocks grinding together. "We shall see. Your species has been last in rankings for 15 years. Some board members think we should stop accepting human cadets. They waste space and resources." "What do you think?" Jake asked. The 4 eyes narrowed. "I think weak creatures should not pretend to be warriors. But the board allows humans to stay. So you will stay until you prove me right." The commandant walked away. His heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway. "He hates us," Amanda Walsh whispered. She was a short woman with pilot wings on her uniform. "All the instructors hate us." "Can you blame them?" Kevin Brooks said. He had metal parts attached to his arms and legs, computer cables connected to ports behind his ears. "We make them look bad. Other academies laugh at this place because they accept humans." Jake listened to his cadets talk. They sounded like they had given up before trying. That was the first problem he needed to fix. "Show me your training area," he said. The human training area was in the worst part of the academy. The walls were old and some of the lights did not work. The equipment looked like it came from a junkyard. Other species had shiny new weapons and armor. Humans had old rifles that sometimes did not fire. "This is where we practice," Alex said. The good training rooms are for teams that actually win fights. Jake picked up one of the old rifles. It was heavy and simple. No computer targeting or energy shields, just metal and gunpowder like weapons from old Earth wars. "These weapons are perfect," he said. The cadets looked at him like he was crazy. "Perfect? They are garbage," Lisa said. "The Zentari have plasma rifles that can cut through steel. The Draconians have energy shields that stop any attack. We have these old things that jam if you look at them wrong." Jake smiled for the first time since arriving. "You think you need better weapons to win?" "Of course we do," Alex said. "How can we fight aliens with Stone Age guns? The same way humans fought each other for thousands of years before we met aliens, with brains instead of fancy tools." Jake set down the rifle and faced his 12 cadets. They were young, and scared, and angry. They had been losing for so long, they forgot how to believe in themselves. "Tomorrow we start training. Real training, not the academy book stuff you have been doing. We are going to learn how humans actually fight." "What if the instructors do not let us?" Amanda asked. "Then, we train somewhere else, late at night when nobody is watching. In empty cargo bays or broken training rooms, I do not care where." "Why?" Alex asked. "Why do you think we can win when everyone else thinks we are hopeless?" Jake looked at each of their faces. Young people, who had traveled across space because they wanted to protect their families and friends, who had worked hard to get into the most famous military school in the galaxy, who kept trying even when everyone told them they were not good enough. "Because you are still here," he said. "Any of you could have quit and gone home. Nobody would blame you, but you stayed. That tells me something about humans that aliens do not understand." "What?" Kevin asked. "We do not know when to give up. And sometimes that is the only advantage you need." The cadets looked at each other. For the first time since Jake had met them, he saw something other than defeat in their eyes. It was small and fragile, but it was there. Hope. Jake woke his cadets at 4 in the morning. They stumbled into the training room with sleepy eyes and messy hair. Outside the windows, the academy was dark and quiet. "Why are we up so early?" Alex asked. He looked angry about losing sleep. "Because this is when real soldiers train," Jake said. "While your enemies sleep, you get stronger." Jake had moved all the fancy equipment out of the room during the night. No computers, no energy weapons, no shields, just basic weights, ropes, and the old rifles they had laughed at yesterday. "Where is all our gear?" Lisa asked. "You do not need it. Sit down." The 12 cadets sat on the floor. Jake stood in front of them like a teacher giving a lesson. "What makes the Zentari good fighters?" he asked. "They are strong," Kevin said. "They have 4 arms and metal skin." "What makes the Draconians dangerous?" "They can fly and breathe fire," Amanda said. "What makes humans special?" Nobody answered. They looked confused. "Nothing," Alex finally said. "That is why we always lose." Jake shook his head. "Wrong. Humans are the best at one thing. We adapt. We change when we need to change. Other species do the same thing the same way every time. We learn new tricks." "How does that help us win fights?" Lisa asked. Jake picked up one of the old rifles. "The Zentari have been using plasma weapons for 1,000 years. They train the same way their great-grandfathers trained. The Draconians have the same fighting style they used when they were living in caves." He handed the rifle to Alex. "This weapon is older than any of you, but it still works. And more important, the aliens do not know how to fight against it." "Because it is weak?" Kevin asked. "Because it is different. Watch." Jake pressed a button on the wall. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It looked like a Zentari warrior with 4 arms and glowing red eyes. "Attack it," Jake told Alex. Alex raised the old rifle and fired. The energy beam from the hologram hit him first. A red light flashed on Alex's chest. He was dead in the simulation. "Now watch me," Jake said. He took the rifle and did something strange. Instead of standing up straight like Alex had done, Jake rolled on the ground. He fired from behind a box. The hologram tried to hit him, but Jake was already moving to a new spot. He kept moving and shooting until the hologram fell down. "The Zentari are trained to fight enemies who stand and shoot. Jake explained. They do not know what to do when someone moves around and hides. That looks like cheating, Amanda said. There is no cheating in real war. There is only winning and dying. Jake made each cadet fight the hologram. They all died quickly at first. But after many tries, they began to understand. Lisa learned to use the room's walls and boxes to hide from enemy fire. Kevin found that his small size let him crawl into spaces the hologram could not reach. Amanda moved so fast that the hologram could not track her. After 2 hours of practice, they took a break. The cadets were sweating and tired, but they looked different. Less hopeless. I killed it 3 times, Lisa said with a smile. It was the first time Jake had seen her smile. I got it twice, Kevin said. My cybernetic arms move faster than it expected. Dr. Elena Vasquez walked into the training room. She was the Academy's human psychologist and the only other human adult on the station. Jake, can I talk to you? They walked to the corner of the room where the cadets could not hear them. The other instructors are asking questions, she said quietly. They want to know why the human training room is being used at strange hours. Are we breaking any rules? No, but you are making people nervous. Change makes aliens uncomfortable. Jake looked at his cadets. They were practicing with the old rifles, helping each other learn new ways to move and hide. Good. If we make them nervous, maybe they will start taking us seriously. Or maybe they will find ways to stop you, Elena said. Be careful, Jake. Some very powerful people want humans to stay in last place. After Elena left, Jake gathered his cadets again. Time for physical training, he said. We already did weapons practice, Alex said. Weapons are only part of fighting. Your body is the most important weapon you have. Jake made them run around the training room. Then he made them climb ropes. Then he made them carry heavy boxes from one side of the room to the other. The cadets complained and sweated and wanted to quit. The Aquarians can hold their breath for an hour, Jake said while they exercised, but they get tired after 10 minutes of running. The Draconians are strong, but they cannot bend their backs very far. Every species has weaknesses. What are human weaknesses? Amanda asked while doing push-ups. We are not the strongest or the fastest, but we do not quit. When other species get tired, we keep going. When they give up, we find another way. By the end of training, the cadets could barely stand, but they had completed every exercise Jake gave them. Same time tomorrow, Jake said. Tomorrow is rest day, Alex said. Not for us. While other teams rest, we get better. Over the next week, Jake pushed his cadets harder than they had ever been pushed. They trained before dawn and after dinner. They practiced with old weapons while other teams used fancy equipment. They learned to fight dirty while other teams followed rules. The alien cadets began to notice. Groups of Zentari and Draconians would stop and watch the humans train. They laughed at first. Humans crawling on the ground and hiding behind boxes looked silly compared to honorable alien fighting styles. But the laughter stopped when the monthly ranking trials began. The human team was matched against the Aquarians in an underwater combat simulation. Everyone expected another easy alien victory. The Aquarians could breathe water and swim like fish. Humans needed breathing masks and moved slowly underwater. The fight began in a flooded city. The Aquarians swam fast through the water, hunting for the human team. They had done this simulation 100 times. They knew every hiding spot and every escape route, but the humans were not hiding in the usual places. Lisa had used her demolition skills to create new hiding spots by blowing holes in walls. Kevin had hacked the simulation to change the water current patterns. Amanda had found a way to use the breathing equipment as a weapon, shooting compressed air to blind enemies. Alex coordinated everything, telling his team where to go and when to attack. The Aquarians were confused. The simulation was not working the way it always worked. The humans were not fighting the way they were supposed to fight. When the simulation ended, the scoreboard showed something nobody had seen in 15 years. The human team had won. The alien cadets stared in shock. Some of the instructors looked angry. Commandant Vexitar watched from the observation deck with his 4 eyes narrowed. Jake's cadets hugged each other and cheered. They had finally proven they could win. But Jake knew this was only the beginning. Winning once was easy. Winning again and again would be much harder, especially now that everyone would be watching them. The victory against the Aquarians changed everything. Word spread quickly through the academy that humans had actually won a fight. Alien cadets who used to ignore the human team now watched them carefully in the hallways. Jake found his cadets eating breakfast in the mess hall. They sat straighter than before and talked louder. Winning had given them confidence they had never felt. "Everyone is staring at us," Amanda whispered. "Let them stare," Lisa said. She was eating twice as much food as usual. "We earned it." A tall, draconian cadet walked over to their table. His name was Kai Thunderbolt, and he was one of the best fighters in his class. His scales were bright red and small flames came from his nose when he breathed. "I watched your fight yesterday," Kai said to Alex. "Your tactics were interesting." "Interesting?" Alex asked. "You did not fight like warriors. You fought like hunters. My people respect hunters." Kai sat down at the human table without being invited. Other cadets in the mess hall turned to stare. Draconians never sat with humans. "Could you teach me your hiding techniques?" Kai asked. "Why would you want to learn from us?" Kevin asked. "Your people can fly and breathe fire. Flying and fire are useful, but they are not everything. Sometimes the prey is smarter than the hunter expects." Jake listened to the conversation with interest. This was new. Aliens wanting to learn from humans instead of laughing at them. After breakfast, Jake took his team to their training room, but they were not alone. 3 elven cadets stood outside the door. Their leader was a woman named Luna Starweaver. She had long silver hair and eyes that glowed like starlight. "We wish to observe your training methods," Luna said politely. "Why?" Jake asked. "Your victory was achieved through adaptation. Elves value wisdom and learning. We believe there is wisdom in your approach." Jake let them watch. His cadets were nervous at first, having aliens see their strange training methods. But they quickly forgot about the observers and focused on their exercises. Jake had prepared a new lesson for today. He showed them videos from old Earth wars, battles where small groups defeated large armies through clever tactics and teamwork. "This is the Battle of Thermopylae," Jake explained as they watched ancient Greek soldiers fight. 300 Spartans held off an army of thousands by using the terrain to their advantage. "How does this help us fight aliens?" Alex asked. "Same. Principles. Use your environment. Work as a team. Make the enemy fight on your terms instead of theirs." They spent the morning learning formations and communication signals. Jake taught them how to move together like a single organism. How to cover each other's weaknesses and support each other's strengths. The elven observers took notes on everything they saw. When training ended, Luna approached Jake. "Your methods are unorthodox but effective. My people have fought the same way for centuries. Perhaps it is time we learned new approaches." That afternoon brought bad news. Dr. Vasquez found Jake in his small office reviewing training videos. "The Academy board met this morning," she said, closing the door behind her. "There are complaints about your training methods." "What kind of complaints?" "Some instructors think you are teaching unsporting tactics. Others say you are corrupting traditional combat doctrines." Jake leaned back in his chair. "Are we breaking any rules?" "No. But rules can be changed. Commandant Vexitar has allies on the board, powerful aliens who profit from the current ranking system. Let me guess. They make money when humans lose. Defense contracts go to the top-ranked species. If humans start winning, it threatens established business relationships." Jake stood up and looked out his window at the training areas below. He could see alien teams practicing with their advanced weapons and perfect formations. Everything, clean and predictable. "They are scared," he said. "Yes. And scared people do dangerous things." The next day brought the weekly combat trials. This time the human team faced the Zentari. The gray aliens with 4 arms had not lost a match in 2 years. They were bigger, stronger, and had better equipment than the humans. The trial took place in a ruined city simulation. Both teams started on opposite sides with orders to capture and hold the central plaza. It was supposed to be a simple test of combat skills. The Zentari charged straight toward the plaza like they always did. Their plasma rifles cut through walls, and their metal skin protected them from return fire. It was a terrifying display of raw power. But the humans were not where the Zentari expected them to be. Alex had studied videos of previous Zentari matches. He noticed they always used the same attack patterns, so he positioned his team in places the Zentari would not think to look. Lisa had planted small explosive charges throughout the city during the preparation phase. When the Zentari advanced, she triggered them one by one. Not to kill, but to confuse and separate the enemy team. Kevin used his computer skills to hack the simulation's communication system. He sent false messages to the Zentari, making them think humans were in different locations. Amanda flew her small fighter through the narrow streets, using the buildings to avoid Zentari plasma fire. She could not match their firepower, but she could outmaneuver them. The battle lasted 30 minutes. When it ended, the human team controlled the plaza and 3 of the 4 Zentari were eliminated. The academy fell silent. Nobody spoke for a long moment. "How?" one of the Zentari instructors demanded. "This is impossible. Humans cannot defeat Zentari warriors." "They just did," Jake said quietly. Commandant Vextar stepped forward. His 4 eyes blazed with anger. "This was luck, nothing more." "Then schedule another match," Jake said. "If it was luck, we will lose next time." The commandant's face darkened. "Very well. Next week you will face the Cosmic Empire team. They have never lost a trial match." Jake nodded. "We will be ready." As the crowd dispersed, several alien cadets approached the human team. Not just the draconians and elves from before, but others. A group of insect-like cracks wanted to learn about teamwork. Some crystal beings asked about adaptation techniques. "This is getting interesting," Elena said to Jake as they watched aliens talking to humans as equals for the first time. "This is getting dangerous," Jake replied. "We just beat the Zentari. That is going to make a lot of powerful people very angry." That night, Jake could not sleep. He walked through the empty academy corridors, thinking about what came next. His cadets were gaining confidence and skills. Other species were starting to respect them. But respect and fear often looked the same, and Jake knew that scared enemies were the most dangerous kind. He stopped at a window overlooking the academy's central plaza. In a few days, his team would face their biggest challenge yet. The Cosmic Empire had the best equipment and the most experienced fighters in the galaxy. Jake smiled grimly. Good. It was time to show everyone what humans could really do. Jake woke up to find his door unlocked and his room searched. Nothing was missing, but someone had gone through his personal files and training notes. It was a warning. Someone wanted him to know they were watching. He found his cadets in the mess hall looking worried. They huddled together at their usual table, talking in whispers. "What happened?" Jake asked. "Someone sabotaged our equipment last night," Alex said quietly. "Our practice rifles were damaged. Kevin's computer gear was wiped clean. My flight simulator was reprogrammed," Amanda added. "It nearly crashed me into a wall during morning." "Practice." Jake felt anger building in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. "Anyone hurt?" "No, but it was close," Kevin said. His cybernetic arms had scratches on them. "Whoever did this knew exactly how to mess with my systems." "This is not random vandalism," Jake said. "Someone wants us to fail against the Cosmic Empire." Lisa slammed her fist on the table. "Let them try. We do not need their fancy equipment anyway." But Jake could see the fear in their eyes. Winning 2 matches had made them confident, but they were still young cadets facing the most powerful team in the academy. Dr. Vasquez approached their table. She looked around nervously before sitting down. "I have bad news," she said. "The academy board met an emergency session last night. They are changing the rules for your match against the Cosmic Empire." "What changes?" Jake asked. "The trial will be broadcast live to all 12 homeworlds. It is being called a demonstration of academy training standards." Alex frowned. "That does not sound bad." It is, Elena said. This is not about training standards. It is about putting humans back in their place. If you lose badly on live broadcast, it will end any talk of humans being serious warriors. Jake understood. The powerful aliens who controlled defense contracts wanted to humiliate humanity in front of the entire galaxy. One embarrassing defeat would undo all their progress. When is the match? He asked. 3 days. And there is more. The Cosmic Empire team has been given access to the Academy's best equipment. Energy shields, plasma cannons, and combat armor that can stop a tank blast. What do we get? The same equipment you have been using. Basic weapons and standard uniforms. Jake looked at his 12 cadets. They were scared but not broken. 2 victories had taught them they could win against impossible odds. Good, he said. We work better when we are outnumbered and outgunned. The next 3 days were the hardest training of their lives. Jake pushed his cadets beyond their limits. They practiced 18 hours a day, taking breaks only to eat and sleep. He taught them new tactics based on guerrilla warfare from Earth's history, how to strike fast and disappear, how to turn enemy strengths into weaknesses, how to coordinate attacks without radio communication. The Cosmic Empire fights like a machine, Jake explained. Perfect coordination and overwhelming firepower. But machines break when you hit them in the right place. Where is the right place? Alex asked. Their commander. Prince Starforge leads from the front. He is their brain and their inspiration. Take him out and the rest will lose focus. How do we get close to him? He will have the best armor and weapons. Jake smiled. We do not go to him. We make him come to us. On the day of the match, the Academy was packed with observers. Alien dignitaries from across the galaxy had come to watch. Giant screens showed the event to billions of viewers on 12 different worlds. The human team entered the preparation area, wearing their simple uniforms and carrying basic weapons. They looked tiny compared to the Cosmic Empire warriors in their gleaming armor. Prince Starforge himself led the Empire team. He was 8 feet tall with golden skin and eyes that glowed like stars. His armor was covered in metals, and his weapon could punch through a battleship's hull. Humans, the prince said in a voice like thunder. I will make this quick and painless. Surrender now and save yourselves the embarrassment. Thanks for the offer, Jake said, but we will take our chances. The match arena was a recreation of a destroyed space station, twisted metal corridors, broken gravity systems, and dangerous electrical hazards. Both teams had to navigate this maze and complete 3 objectives while fighting each other. The Empire team moved like a perfect military unit. They advanced in formation, covering each other and communicating through high-tech helmet radios. Their weapons lit up the dark corridors with deadly energy beams. The human team scattered immediately. Each cadet went to a different part of the station. To observers, it looked like panic and poor leadership. But Jake had taught them to think like hunters, not soldiers. Lisa used her demolition skills to create traps throughout the station. When Empire warriors entered certain corridors, explosive charges went off around them. Not enough to kill through their armor, but enough to disorient and separate them. Kevin hacked into the station's computer systems. He turned off artificial gravity in some sections and overloaded power conduits in others. The stable environment became chaotic and unpredictable. Amanda flew her fighter through the outside of the station, attacking through broken windows and hull breaches. The Empire team expected enemies in the corridors, not coming from space. Alex coordinated everything while staying mobile. He used hand signals and coded messages to direct his team without radio communication. The Empire could not intercept orders they could not detect. For 20 minutes, the Empire team dominated the arena. Their superior firepower and armor gave them control of the main objectives. Prince Starforge himself captured 2 of the 3 goal points. But the human tactics were working. The Empire team was spread out and frustrated. Their perfect coordination was breaking down as they dealt with unexpected attacks from all directions. Then Jake sprang his trap. All the human attacks had been driving the Empire team toward the station's central hub. It was the most defensible position, exactly where a good commander would want to be. But Lisa had filled the hub with her most powerful explosives. When Prince Starforge and his elite guards entered the central chamber, Lisa triggered every charge at once. The explosion shook the entire station. Emergency lights flickered and alarms screamed. The prince survived because of his armor, but he was stunned and alone. His guards were down, and his team was scattered throughout the station. That was when the human team struck together for the first time in the match. All 12 cadets converged on the central hub. They moved like a pack of wolves, coordinating without words. Prince Starforge was the greatest warrior in the Cosmic Empire. He had never lost a single combat. His weapon could destroy buildings, and his armor had protected him in 100 battles. But he was one fighter against 12 humans who had learned to think as one mind. They did not try to match his power. They used speed and teamwork and desperate courage. The battle lasted 3 minutes. When the smoke cleared, Prince Starforge was on the ground, and the human team controlled all 3 objectives. The arena fell, completely silent. Nobody moved or spoke. The most powerful warrior in the galaxy had been defeated by 12 humans with basic equipment. Then the cheering started. Not from the human section, but from alien cadets throughout the academy. Draconians roared approval. Elves sang victory songs. Even some Zentari clapped their 4 hands together. Jake looked up at the observation deck where Commandant Vexitar stood with the academy board. The commandant's face showed no emotion, but Jake could see something new in his 4 eyes. Respect. Prince Starforge struggled to his feet. His golden armor was cracked and his weapons were broken, but he walked over to Alex Carter and offered his hand. Well fought, human. You have taught me that strength comes in many forms. As they shook hands, Jake knew everything had changed. The galaxy had watched humans defeat its greatest warriors. There would be no going back to last place. But he also knew their real challenges were just beginning. The victory celebration lasted 3 days. Messages came from Earth congratulating the human team. Alien governments that had ignored humanity for decades suddenly wanted to discuss trade agreements and military partnerships. But Jake knew the real work was just beginning. He found his cadets in their new training facility. After defeating the Cosmic Empire, the Academy had moved them to the best equipment room on the station. Shiny new weapons lined the walls and computer systems hummed with advanced technology. It feels strange, Alex said, holding a plasma rifle that cost more than most people made in a year. A month ago, we could not get spare parts for our old guns. Success changes everything, Jake said. The question is what you do with it. Amanda was practicing on a new flight simulator that responded to her thoughts instead of just her hands. This machine is incredible. I can fly better than I ever imagined. Can you still fly the old ships? Jake asked. Of course, but why would I want to? Jake walked to the center of the room where all 12 cadets could see him. They gathered around like they had on his first day. But everything was different now. They stood taller and their eyes held confidence instead of fear. Tomorrow you graduate from the academy, he said. You will receive job offers from the best military organizations in the galaxy. Some of you will become instructors here. Others will lead defense fleets or guard important worlds. What about you? Lisa asked. Will you stay and train the next group of human cadets? Jake smiled. That depends on what you learned here. Kevin looked confused. We learned to fight and win. We proved humans can be warriors. What else? The cadets looked at each other. They had been so focused on winning matches that they had not thought about the bigger picture. We learned to work together, Alex said slowly. We learned that our differences make us stronger, Amanda added. We learned not to give up, Lisa said. Jake nodded. And what is the most important lesson? Nobody answered for a long moment. Then Kevin spoke up. We learned that being human is enough. We do not need to be like other species to be valuable. Exactly. You spent years trying to fight like Zentari or fly like Draconians or think like elves. You kept losing because you were trying to be something you are not. Jake walked to the window that looked out over the academy. Ships from dozens of worlds moved through space, each one different but all serving the same purpose. Humans adapt. We change when we need to change. We find new solutions to old problems. That is our strength and our gift to the galaxy. Dr. Vasquez entered the room carrying a data pad with official-looking documents. The graduation assignments are ready, she announced. Alex Carter will become a tactical instructor at the academy. Lisa Rodriguez has been offered a position with the Galactic Bomb Disposal Unit. Kevin Brooks will join the Computer Defense Corps. Amanda Walsh has 3 different pilot corps wanting to recruit her. She read through the entire list. Every cadet had received multiple job offers, some from organizations that had never hired humans before. "Congratulations," Elena said. "You are all legends now." That evening, the Academy held its graduation ceremony. Thousands of alien cadets filled the Great Hall to watch the human team receive their diplomas. When each name was called, the entire audience stood and cheered. Commandant Vextar presented the awards personally. When he handed Jake his instructor's certificate, the big Croylian spoke quietly so only Jake could hear. "I was wrong about your species. Strength is not just about muscles and weapons. Sometimes it is about heart and determination." "Thank you, sir. Do not thank me yet. Your success has created new challenges. Other species want to learn human tactics. Some want to copy them. Others want to stop them." Jake understood. Victory had made humanity important, but importance brought new enemies and new responsibilities. After the ceremony, Jake found himself alone in the empty training room where it all started. The old rifles and simple equipment had been moved to storage, replaced by advanced alien technology. His 12 cadets found him there. They were wearing their new uniforms with rank insignia that showed their elevated status. "Are you proud of us?" Alex asked. "I am proud of what you became," Jake said. "When I arrived, you were trying to be someone else. Now you know who you are." "What happens next?" Lisa asked. "You go out into the galaxy and show them what humans can do, not by copying aliens, but by being yourselves. You adapt and overcome and never give up." "Will we see you again?" Amanda asked. Jake looked at each of their faces. Young people who had grown into confident warriors while remaining fundamentally human. "Every time you solve an impossible problem, or refuse to quit when things look hopeless, you will see me. Every time you help someone weaker or find a new way to do an old job, you will see me." One by one, they said goodbye and left for their new assignments. Jake watched them go with mixed feelings. Pride at what they had accomplished. Sadness at seeing them leave. Hope for what they would do next. Elena joined him in the empty room. "The next group of human cadets arrives tomorrow," she said. 50 of them this time instead of 12. "Word of your success has spread across Earth." 50? Jake laughed. "That is going to be interesting." "Can you train that many?" Jake picked up one of the old rifles from storage. It felt familiar in his hands, like an old friend. "We will find out. But I know one thing for sure." "What is that?" "They are human. That means they can adapt to anything." The next morning, Jake stood in the docking bay as the new transport arrived. 50 young humans stepped off the ship looking nervous and excited. They had heard the stories of the legendary first class and wanted to follow in their footsteps. Jake looked at their faces and saw the same mixture of hope and fear he had seen in Alex and Lisa and the others. These cadets would face different challenges, but they would face them with the same human spirit of adaptation and determination. "Welcome to the Galactic Combat Academy," he told them. "My name is Jake Morrison, and I am here to teach you the YI, most important lesson in the galaxy." "What lesson is that, sir?" a young woman asked. Jake smiled, remembering his first day with 12 desperate cadets who thought they were failures. That being human is more than enough. It is everything. As he led the new cadets toward their training facility, Jake thought about the journey from last place to legend. It had not been about becoming stronger or faster or more alien. It had been about discovering that humanity's greatest strength was simply being human. The legend would continue, one cadet at a time.